So here's an overview of how I usually animate. I'm using the roommates video I did a while back. I'm animating with a Huion graphics tablet in Toon Boom Harmony. The first step is getting a general sense of the shot and the framing. Usually that's done in a storyboard. Here I'm just putting something down. Environment first. If you want your characters to feel grounded, it's important to get the layout down. It also helps to give the scene an atmosphere, which can subconsciously guide you later on. I went for a messy apartment look, stuff just lying around, old dishes and clothes all over the place, which fits with the homey feel and casual look I went for with the characters. Later, when I clean the lines, I will also start with the background to make sure the characters fit. You can see I'm trying out different things until I find a version I like. It's all very rough and easily changed, but if it turns out well, I can clean it up later. You can also see I'm working in a slightly blue color, which I called Sketch in the color palette on the right. The nice thing about Harmony is that you can dynamically change these colors and they change what you've already drawn. And later you'll see how I play with the color's opacity when it's time to clean the line art. Now I've started marking the drawings. Red is for keyframes, the poses that show you the action of the character. Blue markings are for breakdowns, transition poses between the keyframes that help the flow and give some character. This is where I put the most thought into the spacing of the poses. I might put a breakdown closer to one key pose to get different rates of acceleration, give the keys more or less time on screen, and generally try to get the movement to feel right. Later, when putting in the in-betweens, I'll be thinking a lot less and often just put them right down in the middle. And if the breakdowns were made right, the movement should still look good. Now comes the cleanup. As I said, I start with the foreground and background and then the characters. I'm not worrying about perspective too much, but I am drawing with the horizon line at about the lower third line. Now come the characters. I went for a relatively realistic, relatively clean line, though I somewhat struggled with both. The faces were especially annoying, so I left them for later. In the end, they're the weakest part of the design, though there are plenty of other problems. Proportions aren't entirely consistent, especially with the hands. Anatomy isn't great, and the design overall is rather bland. On the other hand, the movement is quite fluid and natural and is, I think, both lively and not too exaggerated, which I'm happy with. I'm definitely going with a more cartoony style next time, but this was interesting. And there's just a lot more cleaning. It's 3/4 of the entire work time, which was about 24 hours total. In the end, I filled in the lines and fixed a few depth issues, and there it is. The final animation. If you want a better look at the process, I have also uploaded the entire thing with a constant speed of 24 times the original. I hope this was interesting, maybe even helpful, and I will welcome any topic suggestions you might have. Until next time.